Alabama versus Ohio State in the national championship game. Two historic blue blood programs will collide in Miami. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. You are a good sport. This is College Football Media, and on this channel we talk college football teams, trends, and traditions, all the way to logos, history, and predictions. So if that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing for in-depth college football content. It's been a long season, but you, and these teams have persevered through it all. I don't want it to be forgotten that if it wasn't for players like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, perhaps this season would never have happened to begin with. They deserve all the praise in the world for their leadership as people, for really pushing for the We Want to Play movement. But I'll also mention perhaps some of the players in the SEC and Big 12 didn't need to because they had perhaps better commissioners and overall people that wanted to see football be played in the offices of their conference. So to the conference commissioners and people making the decisions in the offices of the SEC, Big 12, ACC, and then along with Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and all of the players of the like, I want to give my personal thank you on behalf of me, this channel, and all of the fans that have been able to enjoy the college football season to begin with. If it wasn't for you, perhaps this season never would have happened, and I'm thankful for the bit of normalcy that it began to bring into the year. And now the two strongest programs that had to persevere through everything have made it to the national championship game, and I don't think there are any two more deserving programs to be here right now. But as a quick reminder, in these prediction videos for the postseason, I've been doing a gut versus brain concept. So far my gut is 3-1 and my brain is 1-3. And I have gone with the correct final pick all 4 of those times. I want to take all the credit for, but is probably pretty lucky. So for this game, let's jump into it with my brain versus my gut. And I want to welcome both of you back. Thank you, sir. One final good go at it. Let's get it right. It's a big final game and we've got a lot to get to. Thank you each for being here. I really appreciate it. To start off, you can look at a lot of the advanced metrics for both of these teams, concerning perhaps some of the models from college football nerds, or even somebody on Twitter like @StatsAwar. Alabama is simply the more efficient team on offense. Both of these teams have talent. That is certainly not out of the question. However, remember, Alabama is more experienced, playing more games, so they know what to do when they get into a crunch. And statistically, the advanced metrics say that they are more efficient. Do not be fooled by the fact that Alabama did not have a total yardage or perhaps total point differential in the Notre Dame semifinal game, whereas Ohio State did against Clemson, because Alabama won that game much earlier and shut down the game, did not allow Notre Dame to have a chance to win by, say, the third quarter, whereas Ohio State wanted to keep scoring and put on the points because, well, one, they wanted to beat Clemson intentionally, but also because Clemson has the comeback factor in quarterback Trevor Lawrence and their offense as a whole. The Ohio State Buckeyes have made it to this point, and all they need is one big win. They've already beat Clemson. They've proven they can do it. They can play with anybody. They've got the talent to do it. They've got the coaching to do it. And if you can play with anybody and all you need is one game, you are definitely capable of doing it. Both teams are very talented. Either team could win this game. Ohio State, they will want their offense to be able to run the ball. So Ohio State was able to attack the defensive backs of Clemson, whereas against Alabama, they'll want to be able to run the ball and really go at the front seven. Alabama, on the other hand, their offense is able to stretch the field vertically, and they are a lot more multiple on offense when it comes to formations and schemes of what they can run out of those formations. The Ohio State defense is better than you think. They've got a really good front seven. That is the strength of this defense. They shut down Travis Etienne. Ohio State needs to get pressure in the inside in the passing game and get up there, stuff the gaps, and stop the run. If they do that, that makes it easier on the secondary. If you push through and make the game physical from the get-go and kind of shake Alabama, then they may not know what to do. You do that, you get some big turnovers, you change the momentum of the game quickly, make them start to doubt. The same thing that you did to Clemson. That starts with your front seven and it starts with your run game with Trey Sermon. You got a good, strong run game that's different from years past because you're not 100% focused on your quarterback and relying on those options, and you can throw it vertical down the field. The biggest X factor for me was seeing Justin Fields finish the game against Clemson. While it does prove and it validates his heart and his gut, there's no quantity that can match up to the heart of a player to play through such pain. However, after time has passed, I believe it will take a toll on his body, and I don't believe he will be up to 100%. They have said he will play. I do expect him to be able to play quality football, however not up to his full potential. You won't run designed plays for him to run the ball, and while he may be able to move in the pocket and make throws down the field, it's a completely different play style than he is used to. I want to see a fully healthy Justin Fields, but I don't expect that's what we will get. They are not releasing any details about the extent of his injury. To me, that tells me a lot. The details will come out after the game about exactly what his injury is, and it will be brought to light specifically for his draft stock. But 10 days is not enough to recover from a severe rib injury, whether bruised and especially broken. I think he will be better healed than of course he was in the semifinal game, but Alabama will not shy away from hitting him. Now, please don't misunderstand me. They will not maliciously try to hurt Justin Fields. However, they will show no partiality. Alabama will hit the quarterback to try and shake him up. Not to hurt him intentionally and get him out of the game, but to make him hesitate and not play as quickly as he would as if he wasn't injured. They want to shake him up mentally, and that comes sometimes through some physical pain that you have to play through. It won't be malicious, it will be normal football actions. But if that is re-aggravated in Justin Fields and he does have to play through pain, it will be hard to see the full extent and full potential of Justin Fields. That injury will not go away in 10 days, and his style of play relies too much on his athletic ability for it to translate without a hitch. This injury matters. Justin Fields has said he's fine to play. The Buckeyes coaching staff said that he will play, and even if he has a little bit of discomfort, he's the one guy that you know and has already proven can push through it. He can get through anything. That's what comes with that kind of mentality that you want in a quarterback. Sometimes, man, the thing in here matters a whole lot more than the thing up here. The Buckeyes, they got it here. Both teams will score points. Both teams will have a chance to win. But at the end of the day, I do believe that Alabama's is more efficient. That is what the advanced metrics tell us. For those reasons, I think Alabama will be able to attack vertically Ohio State's defense, and their defense will be able to slow down Ohio State enough to score in the big moments and hold them, say, in the red zone and on third down, enough to be able to win the game. I predict Alabama to win the national championship. Ohio State's been through more than anybody has. They had to fight and defeat the front offices before ever getting on the field. They had a bitter taste in their mouth from the semifinal last year. They proved it this year against Clemson in the semifinal just like I thought they would. And boy, did they ever. Now all you need is one big game. And who else would you want it to be? If you're going to be the best, you've got to and you want to beat the best. It's a breakthrough type game and would make for an incredible storyline. The Big Ten almost fumbled it. They almost didn't even let this team have a chance to play at all this season. That would have been a shame. But this team overcame it. They got a chance to play. They seized the opportunity. Carpe diem. So Ohio State, they've got the attitude. They've got the alpha. I was feeling Ohio State a lot in the preseason. I've stuck it out. I've ran with them. And here we are. I can't waver now. I predict Ohio State to pull it out That's my gut. That's what I felt the preseason. It's going to come to fruition. The Buckeyes upset and win the national championship for the best storyline we have seen in a long, long time. Now we've given our final assessments. What is your prediction for the game? Yet another tough decision. And frankly, I really do love both of these teams. I think they've gone about things the right way throughout the entire season. I remember Ohio State having to overcome the offices of the Big Ten. I still don't understand why the Big Ten offices handled it the way that they did. And that gave a lot of credit in my eyes to the Ohio State team and the character of that team. But also as the season has progressed, you've seen a lot of the character of the Alabama team as well. But talent and character aren't everything if they're not connected. You need both to have a good team, and I do believe both of these teams have great talent and great character together. That's why I think it will be such a good matchup when it comes to Monday night. These really are the two best teams in college football this year. An unstoppable force and an immovable object on a crash collision course. And while yes, my gut has been riding with Ohio State all season long, there's something to say about the Alabama team and everything they've had to go through as well. My brain clearly sees the efficiency metrics of Alabama's offense. Both teams will be able to score points. And let me be very, very clear. Both teams have a great chance to win. Either team can win this game. Both teams are very capable. But at the end of the day, storylines are great and I love to grasp onto them, but they don't always dictate results on the field. That goes for either side. But again, I do think the disadvantage of playing less games will hurt Ohio State because they were ready and prepared to beat Clemson. That's what I believe. They had prepared almost all year to beat Clemson. That is exactly what they did, and they did not hold back. They deserve everything they have gotten from that. Alabama, on the other hand, is more tested, and I think, in turn, are more prepared. And I expect both teams to score points. It could turn into a shootout type game. I think Alabama is more prepared to win in a shootout style game. Ohio State will need to be incredibly efficient on offense. They'll need to be able to run the ball, and they'll need to be able to put pressure in the pocket on Mac Jones. A perfect game is needed. They are capable of it, but really that is what will be needed, honestly, for both sides. But if it wasn't for that Justin Fields injury, perhaps I would go with my gut here. But I think that Justin Fields' injury will be a bit too much. I want to see Justin Fields do well. I think he will be able to play well. But there's just a bit of difference in a hesitancy when it comes to a quarterback like Justin Fields, who is such a threat running the ball. In some ways reminds me, perhaps ironically, of a Deshaun Watson. But without that alpha killer mentality approach to running the ball, and they probably will not have design runs, and he should be able to extend plays, but there's just a bit of hesitancy that is all that it takes to keep somebody from really excelling in the run game. That whole dimension of how his play style is removed. And even though I wouldn't expect anybody else to overcome that except Justin Fields, he is the one that can overcome all of that. I don't think it will be enough for 2 games. That is the X factor, and that's what pushes me over the edge to go with my brain. And I will predict Alabama to win the national championship. Like I said, I would love to see both teams win the game. I think both teams have incredible stories, incredible character, incredible purpose, and I have the utmost respect for both programs. And I sincerely want to thank you, the viewer, for watching throughout this entire year. This has been the most growth for this channel up to this point, and really only my second full year of doing this. I am grateful for every second that you have watched, every like you have given, every share you have given, and every comment I have received. We all love college football, and I'm thankful that we have had a season at all this year. So for this video and this past entire year, if you enjoyed it, hit the like button and consider subscribing for more in-depth college football content. So continue to expect more content from me throughout the off season, and I'm looking forward to next season as well, but all after the big game on Monday night. That comes first and foremost. So again, thank you so much for watching this channel, this video this year. God bless, and until next time, be goody now.